Good day and welcome to a new video. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe! Heyo and welcome in today. Today you're joined by me, Daniel, and also I have in Aaron Tucker
Hey, yeah, that's
on
me.
his ArtStation page here with his ArtStation website, outart.artstation.com, which looks pretty cool. I looked at your ArtStation. I really see the kind of website you've got here, but that looks cool the way you've laid it out and everything. Um,
I still got to update it. There's a lot of stuff I've worked on this year I haven't posted.
awesome. So those links will be in the description as normal. Yeah, so feel free to go check those out. So yeah, tell me a little bit about yourself.
Ah, oh man, oh man. Uh, nothing. I guess nothing too much to really talk about. I guess. I mean, I draw obviously. Um, I'm over here in like East Coast of the USA. I don't know what time it is over there, but I imagine it's like late. But
It's
yeah,
early
over
morning
here
here.
East Coast. Oh, is it actually?
Yeah,
Okay, I see.
nice.
But yeah,
Cool.
I've been working on trying to get into character design, illustrations, and just general concept art for a while.
Yeah.
Went to college about what 6 years ago now. Graduated. It was Savannah College of Art and Design (SCAD) in Atlanta, Georgia. Uh,
Awesome.
Actually went there for sequential art, which is basically just comics, which
Yeah,
I still kind of like, but
yeah.
uh, don't do it too often because it takes so much time. But you know,
Ah,
yeah.
nice. Yeah. So there, um, how intensively did you study comics?
Ah, man. Well, I was in college for like 4 years, 4.5 years actually, because I had a minor for a little while, but um, studied a good amount. Learned a little bit of the history of comics since I didn't know too much about it before. The reason I went into comics was just because I drew a lot of sequential art kind of things back when I was younger and growing up into high school and everything. So it just seemed like the natural thing to do. But I
Awesome.
didn't know too much about like the history of comics before then, so my experience with them was kind of limited.
Yeah.
So college helped, I guess, diversify me with a lot of the earlier Western comics,
Mm,
stuff like Jack Kirby or early stuff. But
awesome.
yeah, drew a few small comics. I'm sure there's some like at the bottom of my art station somewhere, some really old ones, but
Yeah, I saw that
yeah.
and I was like, hey, you did some comics?
A
Yeah.
few. Those are mostly just assignments, but you know, I'll actually make a full fleshed out one at some point.
Oh, cool. Are you interested in doing more comic books?
For myself personally, I am a few things. There's a few stories I want to tell through comics,
Awesome.
but that'll be a while from now.
Yeah, fair enough. I did.
I'm currently sorry.
No, keep
I was
going.
just gonna say I'm currently a bit more interested in like character designs and concept art actually.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. Um,
Yeah.
that's what's good. You follow your interests. Um, it's funny how what you do and where things take you sometimes. Um,
That is
I
pretty interesting.
yeah, I for myself I delved into 3D and I got quite intense with that. Back in the day, one of the biggest ones for me was Blender. Um,
Oh, yeah.
which at the time it wasn't that big a deal.
Hmm.
And now, like 4 or 5 years later, it's like everyone's talking about Blender and how it's, that great.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't used 3D too much, but for a while, my I mentioned I had a minor for a little while. My minor
Mm.
was actually in video game design.
Ah, wow.
So I
Yeah.
took a few classes in that, and I had to learn like Maya, a little bit of Blender, stuff like Cinema 4D. So I know a little bit, but it's been like forever since I've touched any 3D program.
Well, that's fair enough. Yeah. Do you think it's
Blender's
yeah,
come so far.
yeah, yeah. I haven't touched it either in like, 4 or 5 years, something like that. Um I actually I think last year or something I downloaded it and just fiddled around. I,
Yeah,
I was just like, I used to do Blender all the time. Why not download it? Nah. I played
it's got
around.
a lot of updates.
Yeah. Uh, it's it's still all there, and it's like, I have vague memories of how to do things. Be like, okay, I know how to do this, know how to do that. Um, because I did some interesting stuff in that um and that was going to be my thing I was going to do, go into 3D.
Yeah,
But I, I didn't, I didn't want to spend all my time doing that. I kind of got bored after about an hour of doing that, where something like drawing and illustrating something, I can do that for, hours on end, really. Um,
it's a bit of a different experience, right?
yeah. Um,
Instead of just working with like just seeing that 3D model just sitting there for the longest time that you're working on it,
hmm,
messing around with different nodes and shaders and all that.
yeah. I used to just like play around with textures a lot too.
Hmm,
Trying to make it look like metal, trying to
I feel that.
mm, awesome. Um, yeah, so I see you participated in Inktober at some point. Um,
Oh yeah, I did. Oh man, it's October right now. I just realized Inktober's coming back. Oh no,
oh no,
I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to it this year.
it's fair enough. I you know usually do it. I've done it
Yeah.
for probably 5 or 6 years.
Oh man, you're dedicated.
But, this year I was like, nah, you know, um, I've got other things I can do.
Same here. I
Mm,
did it for I think 2 years, maybe like two and a half. But
yeah,
oh
cool,
man, wish I
awesome.
could do it more often. But
Man,
a
it's
lot of things to do and not enough time.
yeah, it's really like good practice, and um, for me, I used it to better my skills in some formal way. Like
Mhm.
one year I did humans, so I was just drawing humans, or figures, if it was. And then, another year I was doing creatures,
Mhm.
and things like that. I may do
Yeah,
One Piece. I might actually, do an ink or something this month if I can.
I might try to do some as well. I mean, I know. I think for the past, not last year, but the year before and the year before that, those two Inktovers, I think I drew those mostly traditionally. Since
Yeah.
I did comics and stuff in college, we used a lot of like traditional material, like actual ink, actual like fountain pens and everything like that.
Yeah.
So I like going back to that when I can, and Inktober is just like the perfect time to do that.
Mm.
But I mean, I'd have to get like new materials now. My ink is probably super dry. I haven't touched it in forever.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. I
Who
got ink
knows? Maybe I'll
somewhere.
just do some digital pieces.
Yeah. Um, yeah, I got ink somewhere. It's a matter of finding it. It could take a month to find, so
You'll get on the last day, probably.
yeah. All good. Um, yeah, I see you have some interesting um work there. Would you say you have like a style?
Oh man, I've got style is always just a very interesting concept in and of itself. It's
Mm.
like I guess I could say I have my own style, but I guess everybody could, in
Yep.
a way,
Mm.
since it's just it's an ever growing thing that you just have. It just develops over time. All your interests, all the things that you do add up into your overall style.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Definitely.
I'd I'd say I have. I mean, if I had to like detail like in words, I guess I could just say I'm more influenced by like anime and manga, influenced by just a lot of stuff I see online as well.
Mm.
But yeah, I'd say that'd probably be like the basis of my style. That's what
Was
I started drawing when I was a kid.
yeah. Yep. I
I
think.
got some other stuff in there, but
Oh, awesome. Yeah, you have some interesting work there, which is cool to see. Um, I do see you have done some commissions in there as well.
yeah, for um, large majority of the time over the past few years, a lot of my income was just based on commissions. So I was doing a lot of those for quite a while. And then I think you'll see in the art station as well. There's like just some one-off illustrations, and
Yeah.
in that way. So yeah, you'll see a bunch of that in my gallery for now.
Uh,
Not too many personal things, not too many. There's some that I really want to work on, but man, getting to it takes so much effort.
I fair enough. Well, what's your schedule like?
It's well, since all this COVID stuff, I mean, everyone's at home, I guess, but
Yeah.
so the schedule is like it's weird managing your own time when you're just in the same place for the longest time.
Mm.
But generally, it's just I'm working on a bunch of different projects at the same time lately.
Yeah.
Like right now, I'm working on about 4 different projects. Um, I say projects as opposed to commissions because it's not just like a single illustration I'm working on, which is
Yeah.
what I would typically consider a single commission. But there's things like I'm doing character designs and some concept art for a friend of my uncle's that is relatively in the comic industry.
Oh,
He
nice.
reaches out to me for any any stories that he's making. He'll come to me and ask me to make some artwork for it. So it's like
Nice.
a long, ongoing process. I've also done comics for him before as well,
Awesome.
but I'm working on that. I'm working right now as we're speaking. I'm working on a cover for um, someone's novel.
Oh, cool.
Just somebody that I know as an acquaintance is making a novel.
Ah, oh, that's awesome.
And I also occasionally get hit up by the main six dev team, who that's a company that works on a 2D indie fighting game called Them's Fighting Herds.
Ah,
It's
that's
based off
cool.
of MLP, My
Yeah.
Little Pony,
Oh,
but then
okay. Yeah.
they got like a cease and desist from Hasbro a long time ago, so they had to change the characters to original characters and change the name and
Mm.
everything. But yeah, they reach out to me for promotional artwork from
Oh,
time to
that's
time.
awesome.
I've been working for them off and on as just like an independent contractor for like the past year, 2 years. I don't know
Cool.
anymore. Time is just flying.
Well, it's cool. You
Pretty
got a
wild.
little bit of things going on there.
Yeah, but it takes up a lot of time,
Mm.
but it's pretty enjoyable, I guess. And then
Yeah.
of course it's occasionally I'll have like a commission here and there, or I'll just make some commissions,
Mm.
accept a bunch, and see what I can do with it.
Awesome. And that keeps you afloat. All good. All good.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Awesome.
hard work, but it
Yeah.
gets me something.
It's always important. Um, at the moment I'm trying to get some, actual illustration work. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, because I do want to do this full time. At the moment, I can only do it. I can only create stuff for 2 or 3 hours a night, and that's about
Mm,
it. You know, just
right.
on
Like
just
a, I guess you have like a part-time job then.
yeah, a full time.
Mm,
Yeah, to pay the bills and everything. You know.
I know
Um,
how that goes.
and then running this YouTube channel on the side, on the sly. Um,
You're
as
doing
yeah,
stuff at least.
yeah, as well as I've done a few other things. I have done a few commissions here and there. Um,
Mhm.
but yeah, it's always challenging um finding commissions and
It's
finding
uh,
things.
it's definitely tough. I
Mm,
feel you. I was after I got out of college, I didn't have like any immediate job or anything. So I was working part-time supposedly at a as like a produce clerk, so like stocking food inside of a store and everything
mm,
like that.
yeah.
It's supposed to be part-time, so I could work on that and focus on getting art done, but I was definitely working full-time hours.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get home and you want to work on something, but you're dead tired. And it's like,
Mm.
it's so hard to get the energy to work on things.
Yeah, it is really challenging. Like at night, um, it can, some nights I definitely have that feeling of I don't feel like doing anything. Um, but it's that fight. It's that I want to do this. I want to be doing this, full time. That
Right.
is driving me to keep pushing, and even if I only do 20 minutes a night um, or just edit together a video or just something. At
Right.
least I've added something to it, and it's not a waste, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Every little bit counts, right?
yeah, so that's what I go for. If I don't feel like that great, um, at all, um, I'm okay if I only get half an hour done that night, But then, there are nights I come home, I'm fine, and I get 2 or 3 hours done.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
It's crazy hours trying to be a creator while managing other jobs and life.
Mm, definitely.
Well, lots of late nights back in the day. I mean, there's still lots of late nights now.
Mm,
Ah,
yeah. Especially like with studying and things. But for me, I didn't really put in the nighttime work per se, because
mhm.
I had it all structured where I get up early-ish, um, you know, 8, 9-ish, start doing stuff, and then you know keep going in a steady pace. And that's what I felt was important for me, and that worked really well. Um, and it
Mm.
still does, that steady pace. Not staying up late and working a lot at night.
It's for the better.
Yeah, um, I found that really, it does help a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, it's nice when you can have like a steady stride that you can rely on. You can just like get up and know kind of how your day is going to be, sort of.
Mm, yeah. Well, at the moment, I do, I know that I'm working between, 9 and 6. Um,
Yeah.
and that, by about 7:30, I'm in here creating stuff. Um,
Mm.
so, I do have kind of a structure there where I know what time I'm working in. Uh, and then it's kind of loose between, 7:30 till about 11, where I don't know what I'm doing. I figure things out and be like, okay, well, you know, um, but even then, I do have a little bit of a structure where it's like Monday I do this, and
Yeah.
if I haven't done it already, because sometimes I've done it on Sunday, which is um, getting my YouTube videos, my weekly tips onto YouTube and that kind of thing, um,
Right.
as well as editing together if I need to, or make a thumbnail for it. Um, you know, but some nights I make a plan where it's like I'm gonna do this painting, just continue this, and I end up like editing thumbnails or something like that. It's like, oh really?
Hey, I mean, productive work is productive work, even
Yeah.
if it's not what you intended, I guess.
Mm.
It happens.
But it's all good. Because I've been doing that. I work on this YouTube channel as well. Um, and every now and again I reassess things. Look at the thumbnails, how the thumbnails work, um, the titles, and those kind of things. Um,
Yeah.
to try and
How long did you say you were working on YouTube?
so I've been doing YouTube for um 3, 4 years as a kind of as streaming. Um,
Yeah.
Before then, I always had the kind of, I guess, teenage dream, to be a YouTuber. And, I had many trials at it, doing Lego animation things, um, just doing time lapses, um, then, tried YouTube Live.
Hmm.
Uh, and then eventually it led me into this road where I was like, wanted to chat with artists and, um, share things. Yeah.
Hey, I mean, that's a pretty good natural progression. Good timing too, considering everyone's streaming these days.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, if I have something to say and I can help other artists, it's always, important for me. It's, yeah.
At some point, I'll also start streaming again. I
Uh,
used to stream,
yeah.
but a lot of the stuff I work on now is like NDA, non-disclosure agreement stuff, so
Yeah.
I can't stream it.
Yeah. There's always a challenging thing. If you are doing a YouTube, especially like mine, because yeah, I've got to create the content, and that
Right.
does take time, you know.
It's just
I've
you, right? Or
Yeah,
do you have like, oh man, that is a lot of work.
yeah. Um, so I can't, which has been challenging, over the years because I can't just be like, I'm gonna work on this, instead, because that would put my YouTube channel down.
Right.
Because I want to have kind of content. Um, for it because I can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna work on that, because that's what I want to do. I want to keep this YouTube channel going, um,
Right.
which has been challenging because there has been a few projects that have been like, oh, I want to work on that, but I've got this to do. Uh,
That's always the trouble, There's just not enough time in the day to
mm,
do all the things you want to do, I guess.
yeah, but it has been rewarding, and yeah, um, I think it's great because I'm slowly, as I work on these pieces, I add them to my portfolio, um, and yeah, as well as I get to do interesting things like with weekly tips. With that I get to you know share weekly tips. So I get to create um, something interesting,
Yeah.
and you know that has delved me into doing 90 minutes for it. So where I paint for 90 minutes, because it's just an easy kind of session for me where I just spend an hour and a half painting, um,
Right.
and I know that it's done. You know, um,
Yeah, I think I saw some of those videos on your YouTube.
mm,
There was like I saw a few where I think like redrew something And I
Yeah.
was like, man, this dude's really like cracking these videos out.
Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah. Yeah, so 90 minutes. Before then, I was just like drawing animals and things like that, and just taking my time drawing the different poses and um, of them and talking about that process. Where
Hmm.
doing the 90 minutes, that's only, sacrifice one night's work, and it's done, Whereas
Right.
doing those poses, I could be stuck on it for a day and a half, 2 days, Um, Definitely something I'll get back into, but for now, the 90 minutes is just, it's a good amount of time where um, I'm not so worried it's going to take me 2 or 3 days to do.
Right.
Um,
It's suitable for your schedule.
yeah, yeah. I could try that where, I end up doing where I draw the different animal parts and try and stick it within 90 minutes. Maybe that could be the next route or next thing to do. Um,
Maybe if you can, get two birds with one stone,
yeah.
it's even better.
Um, but I feel like even then I will, I get into the nitty gritty where it's got to be, right, perfect. And yeah, that's what ends up taking the time. Um, but yeah, it's interesting and I do enjoy it. But yeah, that 90-minute art challenge that I've been doing that has helped like tenfold. Um,
I can imagine all that mileage.
mm. Well, it's definitely like also, you know, that you've put in that 90 minutes. Um,
Right.
you've given you all for that 90 minutes and everything. Whereas if
Mm,
you're casually kind of painting things and doing your own work, you don't know how many hours you've been doing, um,
that's true.
or anything like that. How much you've actually done. You could be sitting there, but sometimes you get distracted and
Yeah.
do a
There's
little.
definitely a difference between like drawing
Mm,
just casually and actually drawing like with focus and dedication on
mm,
something. I
yeah.
feel like you get a lot more uh, experience
Mm,
if you're actually focusing, like dedicating time to focus on it.
yeah.
So it's
Definitely.
super easy for me to just draw for hours, but like I'm not fully focusing. I'm just trying to progress, but
Mm,
not actually, focusing on the work I'm fully doing.
yeah.
And then, I wake up the next day and I get that same amount of work done in like a few minutes or like an hour or something.
Yeah. Awesome. It does work with that. Have you done any practices or challenges?
Earlier this year, I guess you could say it was like a practice, not so much of a challenge, but during, well, it would be like springtime for me around March, March, May, April, around that area. It was about every single day I woke up during the week. I would spend about an hour, maybe 2 hours just in the morning, just practicing something, whether it was like drawing a bunch of heads or doing some figure studies or trying out different poses or drawing hands because hands are forever difficult,
Yeah.
as every artist would say. But
Mm,
I would do stuff like that, just small studies for about an hour, 2 hours.
awesome.
Um, I would have continued that, but then my computer died for a while, and it kind of ruined my schedule for
Oh, dang.
a few weeks.
Oh, yeah. Well, that
It
always
happens.
sucks.
Uh,
Did you end
that's
up
all right.
getting like a new computer or?
I ended up getting I had to, I think, replace my hard drive on my laptop that I have,
Oh, yeah.
and I had to fix a few other things, but no new laptop yet. I feel like I will still need to get one like next year because
Yeah.
this one starting to show some signs of dying on me again.
Yeah. Well, that's fair
But
enough.
but it's all good. Learned
Yeah.
a lot. studied some stuff, got way more comfortable with just drawing heads and hands. I need to do it
Awesome.
more often, to be honest.
Yeah. That can be a good thing when things break down. You know, when you know, you don't have a computer with you or something like that. And or um yeah. Then it's like you don't have much. You only have like a pencil and paper. That can be really good sometimes. You have those restrictions um
Yeah, for sure.
with you. It's like, and then you find something to do, you find something to get better at. Um, you
Yeah,
find a way to
definitely.
still keep things going, still keep creating, um, and still keep doing.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, it's been a while since I've drawn with like traditional media. So when my computer died, I was like, oh yeah, I have that set of skills that I can use. Let me do that.
definitely.
Let me practice with my pencils, use those for a while.
Mm,
It's like super refreshing. And then you go back to digital and it feels refreshing again in a way
yeah,
because it's
definitely.
been a while.
For
So
me, I started out traditionally. Um,
yeah,
I didn't want to go digital at all, really, back then.
I understand.
Um, because yeah. Um, so
I
was
feel
it you
that.
second that? Oh, you guessed that.
I I also initially didn't really want to use digital media, but college kind of dictated that I had to, so
Hmm.
that's what I switched over to. And it ended up being like, I guess, more accessible for me for a
Yep,
while, so I just stuck with it.
fair enough.
But I definitely still love traditional media,
Yeah.
and I wish I would draw more of it.
If I could, I would. But that is challenging. Um, with the space I don't have a lot of space here to probably, bring my big drawing pads and pencils around me. Um,
Right.
Set up. Um, and then, with doing a traditional piece, I couldn't really record it, so I wouldn't have material, you know,
Yeah.
for this channel.
It's
Um,
definitely less viable if you're talking about like putting stuff on social media.
yeah, it it can be. But you can do it. I've seen other
Yeah.
artists do it. Um, and even some artists are really quick with it as well.
Yeah.
I think can't remember who it was, but it was an artist that was on one of the streams that Bobby Chill was talking about, where he just whipped up a painting within like 20 minutes, a few brush
Oh,
strokes, and it looked amazing, you know. So
I'm not surprised.
yeah, that it can be achieved where traditional can be really really fast. Um, yeah,
I guess as long as you have the as long as you have like the setup for it. I'm
mm,
sure if I stuck with traditional media for I don't know like a month, I'm sure I could get like a good system of like uploading and putting it on social media.
mm,
I'm sure I could get into a groove of it.
yeah. You can
I'm sure.
definitely work things around it and work it into things and be able to do it traditionally.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, that's what I used to do at college, school design, is that I would try and make sure that nearly every, piece I was doing was a color pencil piece, you know.
Colored pencil. Oh man, that was like my favorite medium before.
Mm, awesome.
Oh
Yeah,
man,
it had
I
to be
miss
a,
that.
a color pencil that was, the go-to. Everyone else was doing like digital painting or a design, something like that, um, or just creation. I was always like, oh, I've got to make this into a color piece.
Yeah,
Um,
color pencil is like one of the best tools ever.
yeah. But with that, you had to think about drawing the piece, coloring the piece, then, uploading it onto whatever way possible, scanning it in and that kind of thing, and then, um, yeah, making it
Yeah,
work from there.
ma- making sure whatever medium you're using doesn't like I don't know get affected during the time between
Hmm.
finishing it, scanning it, and putting it in. There are
Yeah,
definitely
definitely.
some times I worked with pencil and would end up accidentally like smudging the drawing, like
Mm.
midway between getting it into getting it scanned in or something. I'd be like, oh no,
Oh, dear.
oh no.
I was very pedantic about that, it had to when I was drawing it, it had to have like a clean piece of paper on top, um,
Right.
to protect it, and I think I'd change that paper as well. That clean piece of paper, I'd change that every couple of days, whatever. Um, and
It's
then,
amazing.
and then, after the day, I'd put it in a sleeve, um, you know, and I'd keep it in that sleeve. Yeah.
You do what you gotta do. You gotta protect it, man. They're delicate.
Mm, pretty much, you put all that time and effort in. Um, but yeah, I definitely would love to do that again, another color piece at some point. It's
Mm.
just finding the time, really.
Well, I'm sure there's gonna be a lot of people finding time this month because of Inktober.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh,
Um, that'd be awesome. I'm interested to see what people have, well, what people create this month in October. Um, yeah.
oh yeah, isn't
It-
there usually like a list of things to draw that are like words or themes or something that's put out?
yeah, there is usually because Jake Parker is the creator of it.
Yeah,
Um,
there we go. That's his name.
he usually creates a list every year. Um, but last few years there's heaps of different artists that create their own lists.
Hmm.
Um, there's other themes as well. There's like a Halloween one or something, like uh,
Right.
Halloween October or something. I can't remember what it's called. Um, and things like that uh that come up. There's also like, have you heard of Mermay?
I have, yeah. I have never participated in it, but I've seen tons of art.
Yeah, I've seen that. I was like, oh, okay. I might give it a go next year. Just doing um mermaids, mermaid.
It's
Just for
interesting.
fun.
I'm not super big on mermaids, but I like seeing the people's art.
Hmm. Yeah, it's interesting to see. I haven't, usually like I've looked at all the words and been like, okay, I know what we'll do for this one, maybe. Um,
There's a what is it? Is it also is it Witchtober? Or is there another month that has a bunch of witches in it?
yeah, it could. I think so. Which Tobo? Um,
Sounds right.
yeah, it's probably a thing out there somewhere.
I've seen
Um,
a few people do that sort of thing as well over the years.
yeah, there's different themes and things that people do each year. That you see. I think one Teo Shin is an awesome artist here on Twitch. Sorry.
Hmm.
Well, he also has YouTube as well, but um, yeah, he created a list for a few years, which was really cool. Um, I think his though was kind of fan arty based, I think, a little bit. Um,
Hmm.
but it was cool to see that, and all his kind of followers would do it as well, which was cool. But yeah, I think it expands every year. Um,
Yeah.
everyone does their different things, like yeah, like you say, Witchtober, and then after that, there's all these other months like Mermay and um, I know something in November. I can't remember what it was,
Yeah,
but
I was trying to think of that too. I know there's something, but I just
Mm.
can't remember it right now.
Yeah,
Oh man.
but yeah, there's always other things that challenges and these things that come out that yeah are really helpful. Um, yeah,
It's nice. It gives people like something to do because I know some people have a they don't really have an idea of what exactly to draw even though they want to draw. So
mm,
having like a challenge like that gives people something interesting to do and something that people are going to be like looking at because
yeah,
people are going to be searching for other artwork similar. But
definitely.
it's
Yeah,
it's cool. It's cool to see everybody joining in on one sort of thing.
mm, definitely. It does give you kind of a focus.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, you know, it is challenging. For me, I was drawing every day, and it was challenging to, come up with what to draw every day and
Yeah.
what if I was just gonna sit there and practice drawing or if I'm actually gonna create a piece or, what I'm gonna work on. Um, where in Inktober it's like, you have this word, you have to draw something about this
Right.
word. Um, and it gives you a focus, be like, okay, I'm gonna draw this for this
Yeah.
word today, um, and it does practice a little bit of your design skills as well, um,
Mhm.
where if you do use the words, it does because you've got to represent that word in some formal way, you know.
Right.
I mean, you can be very, very vague about it, how you show that, you know.
It gives like just the right amount of restrictions and rules, but not too many to where
Mm.
it's hard. It's just like it's not too open ended to where it's impossible to think of something.
Yeah, exactly. You know, the word could be cat, but there's, many ways to show that. You could draw a line, and that's, some form of a cat, or you can literally just draw a cat just sitting there.
Right.
So you can, it does help with the design skills and the your whole thought process and that kind of
Yeah.
thing when you do really use those words. And that was really good with, doing that for each month. Um,
Mhm.
I think for a couple of times I did actually take one of the Inktober drawings and turn it into a digital painting. Um,
That's cool.
yeah, and that's just, you know, I thought it was a really good drawing or something like that, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna turn this into a painting. Um, yeah,
It's nice when something like that happens. It's nice to take something that, is just a maybe just a sketch or a small thought before, and then it turns out you're actually really digging it.
Hmm.
It comes something even bigger. That's always cool.
Yeah, it is. It is. Fun to do it that way. Some of these things that I am been creating over the years have just come from like little sketches, little ideas that I've just been doodling, and it's been like, okay, what could this be? And then it develops into something. Um, so
Yeah.
that's what it's good at. For me, definitely. Not everyone does it the same, but yeah, um, just doing those sketches, doing those drawings, having that routine, um, and just coming up with
Mhm.
those interesting ideas for those Inktober drawings is really helpful.
I think it's also nice because it kind of, I know when I did Inktober before, it kind of pushed me a bit out of my comfort zone, I guess,
Yeah.
because, you're having ideas handed to you in the form of words and you have to work with that. So some
Mm.
stuff you might not normally think about, you end up, conceiving just out of the limitations of Inktober.
Yeah.
which is
Definitely.
always cool because it's like exercising your creative muscles, which
Yeah,
you might not do if you're always drawing stuff that you're used to drawing. So,
yeah, yeah. Pretty much getting your creative juice flowing a little bit more, um, which is great to do and see, you know. Awesome. Have you done any art station challenges?
I haven't. I have not.
Yeah.
I'll see some of the challenges, um, since I get like their emails and stuff, and they'll be like, "Hey, we're doing this thing," and I'm like, "I wish I had time to do that."
Yeah. Definitely.
There's been a lot of challenges I've missed out on.
Mm.
Um, I know, not Proco, but Cynics, Cynics Designs. I think he had a challenge last month or the month before that I kind of wanted to join. It was another kind of like a drawing every day sort of thing.
Oh, cool.
But as much as I wanted to enjoy that, I had like a bunch of projects that I had to work on instead.
Mm.
So
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah,
it's good that other people are doing it. I'll just watch from a distance.
yeah, fair enough. Well, it's all good. Yeah, some of those challenges I've done, I think, um, there was an Aztec one.
Hmm,
There was the underwater one as well. That's one I participated in. Um,
that's cool.
but I see what I've done and be like, I want to redo it. Um, so you know,
That's usually how it goes.
yeah, yeah, awesome. Well, you know, thanks for coming in. Um,
Yeah.
any kind of last words or anything you'd like to say?
Oh man. Oh, this actually flew by way quicker than I thought it would be. Uh, I got nothing to say.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me, I guess.
that's awesome. Yeah, it does fly by quite quickly actually, you know. Lately, you know, I've been doing my own streams where I just chat for 20 minutes. Um,
Yeah,
and that, you know, it feels really, really quick trying to get that done.
I can imagine 20 minutes to me feels like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's only getting faster. Oh no.
Um, but yeah, you know, thanks everyone for tuning in. You know, whether you're watching on Twitch or YouTube, feel free to comment below any of your thoughts. And yeah, keep creating, keep drawing. And I'll just quickly show you Aaron's work again before I go. At out.artstation.com. Um,
Thank you.
there you go. It's down in the description if anyone is interested. But yes, keep drawing, keep creating, and see you in the next video.
See ya.